So, if you are a parent or someone who loves a child, there is probably one concern in your life at least. How will this person be when becomes an adult, right? You're likely thinking about how that person will turn out as they grow older, especially when the person is no longer under your responsibility. Now, I'm recording this video in 2024, and I've been noticing since many years ago something very concerning. It seems that some parents they lost the way, they lost the track when it comes to raising their own kids. They are uncertain, maybe even afraid, and as a result, what we're seeing right now is some alarming things, such as young people using illegal substances or some depression problems and traces among them, or even more anxiety and kids with no direction in life. I believe that each person must carry his own responsibility about his own life, but the way the person is raised has a great impact upon what will happen to the person, right? So, there are countless things we could discuss when it comes to parenting, but today I want to focus on two specific areas: the lessons we should be teaching to our children and the importance of a good communication. They turn out to be only one thing: communication well, and how to give good lessons to the kids, right? I was inspired. What inspired me to make this video was one conversation that I had with my children and my wife about inheritance. It's quite interesting because when we're talking about this, I started talking to them about what they should behave if my wife and me happen to go away, to end our lives somehow. So it's quite interesting because during this conversation we started talking about how they should proceed in case of my wife and me won't no longer be here with them, just be with the big father in heaven. And I was inspired to talk to them about how close they should be with each other. I have two kids, and I was telling them that they are the best friends of each other. They must take care of each other. And I'm saying this because a friend of mine who is a lawyer, he told me that most of the people that he was attending when it comes to inheritance, they end up breaking the families. The families tend to break up with each other because of inheritance. And how frustrating it is for someone who spent the whole life building something to leave for the parents, for the family, and that becomes the destruction of the family. And another thing is, a lot of those parents, a lot of those fathers who make a great effort to build something to leave for the family, they commit, some of them, of course, they commit a great mistake, which is not talking to them properly, not talking about what will happen when they will no longer be here, about how they should divide the things, how they should proceed. So good communication. You have to communicate well. And what does that mean? See, we have different types of communication. We have verbal communication, we have non-verbal communication, we have intonations, we have what we say and what we mean. There are a lot of different types, but one very important thing when it comes to communication is making sure that the person that you're talking to is getting the message the way you expect them to. That's very important. Sometimes we may communicate in a way that we think that the person is getting well, but actually the person is not. And when it comes to talking to kids and children, we have to bear in mind that in a normal situation, the kids, they tend to obey us because we are the parents. We have the power upon them. That's a normal thing. But it doesn't mean that they have to like and agree with everything we say. They might even disagree. But the thing is, do they understand what you mean? You know, there are times when you have to give orders and that's it. There are times that you have to say no, and no explanation would be necessary for that. Oh, may I play with my PlayStation today? No. Okay, that's it. But it depends on the situation. It depends on the age of the child. I believe that it is easier to behave in this way when you have small children who may not understand that keep playing video game for hours alone may not be healthy for them. But if you have a 12 years old child at home, maybe depending on the situation, you may talk to them about things. Sometimes, for example, when, I don't know, I think it was 2 days ago, I have a 10 years old child, and he came to me and he asked me if he could use his tablet or something. I told him that it was possible, but he needed to have a shower first, he needed to organize himself. And he did the things, and the only problem is that he came back to me too late. It was, it was past the time that he should be in bed. It was very late, unusual time. And I told him, do you know it is normal? Do you think that there will be an option for me to allow you to spend some time now? Do you want to have difficulties to sleep, for example? You know, I told him that he could use it, but look at the situation. I even told him, you can use it, but only for a few minutes, just because I told you and we have an agreement. But much longer than that, no, just a couple of minutes and that's it. He ended up not using it, and I believe he understood, you know, and making agreements and addressing it and doing what you're promising is also a very good part of the communication. Sometimes we have parents who promise things to the kids just for them to stop making noise at the street. So just because the parents want to have some peace for some time. But you have to be loyal, you have to be fair with your kids. That's also a good form of communication. So if you like it, you know, so I'd like to finish this video with the question: how are you behaving with your kid? Do you believe that what you're saying is compatible to what he understands? Do you believe that you are being effective in your way of communicating? What can you do in order to make your child understand you well and that you can have a better communication? Please let me know if you want. Let's build something together. And if you liked this video, please leave a share. Just hit the like button and help me to grow this channel. All right? Thank you very much and see you next time.